What about South Africa?
Okay, so South Africa. Here's the thing. I never pull any punches. I always try to be honest. South Africa, Cape Town specifically, is one of the prettiest places on earth.
She don't like Ghana. Nah, she like Ghana, man. She just, you could tell, like, okay, this is like anything. Americans were like this. It's the East or the West. Like, even in Baltimore, it's over East, over West. And D.C. is like, yo, Northeast, Southeast, or Uptown, Southwest. Like, we look at it that way. So I can see, like, if you go to Africa, you're going to pick, are you an East African person or you're a West African person?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the vibe. She's an East African person, so. Steiger, hold it down for South Africa in the chat, man. She gonna say what she gonna say. I already heard what she said, but hold it down for South Africa in the chat, man. All right. We here, we back. What's popping? 3, 2, 1. Top Hill, episode 231.
Wow.
Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, a.k.a. Imani Raw.
And I am the Carmen.
The Carmen in the building. Yes, sir. And we got a special guest in the building, man. Go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
I'm Chad Visionary.
Chad Visionary back in the building. You guys probably already know this face. It's like, I've seen him before.
Right.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Chad Visionary. Came to pull up on the Top Hill Live, man. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. For sure. Anytime. All right. We got a great episode for you guys tonight. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. As you guys know, this show is a show dedicated to bridging the gap between the cultures and the diaspora. So yeah, this is the hub right here, man. So we want to go ahead and dig into some investments, bringing the cultures together, and yeah, man, we're gonna have a good time in the process. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, yeah, we gotta get to Kenya. Kenya.
Can
Lord,
you please have me, Kenya.
What's up, Kenya? You already know it's your boy Imani Raw. You already know. Check out the bracelet. You hear me? I had the pleasure and honor to visit your amazing country. I stayed in Nairobi. I stayed in Diani Beach. Okay. 2 different vibes. I loved it both. Okay. I experienced post-travel depression after leaving Kenya. That is honestly helped spike my weight gain and all that kind of stuff now. I'm day 88 on my juice fast, down over 75 pounds. We're getting back to it. But anyway, Kenya. First experience there, getting out of the airport, I noticed the air quality, and I'm just like, I'm breathing air for the first time. How clear and crisp the air was. And that's coming from being in Nairobi, a major metropolitan city. So when I got to go to the game drives and then get into Diani, it was a whole different story. Now.
That jacket hard.
What? Yeah, nah, he can't. He popped out and showed people. All right. This is like a compilation of all my favorite YouTube channels tonight. I just realized that. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure, bro. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, shout out to Earn Your Leisure, man. I have been a big fan of their program since their inception. I've been to every single Invest Fest, even their first one, and I'm going to the one that's coming up August 22nd this year, 2025. So Ian Dunlap, Rashad, Troy, Mike, there's everybody on the program, man. I just appreciate what you guys have been doing. And it's just so funny, like, how aligned it kind of like the vision, how I see them, because, like, I'm very much into investing and learning and stuff like that. And then being an American, I'm looking at stuff, I'm like, man, we can invest, we can do this, but there's always going to be some kind of ceiling, or there's always some BS hurdle that we have to get through, or whatever the case is. And then I'm still listening to Earn Your Leisure, and then they start talking about Africa, and then they start talking about, different things. Now they have a a city in Ghana that they're building called Sambra City, which is incredible. They announced it last year's Invest Fest. Incredible. And then even more recently, I see them talking to Kelis. And Kelis, I've been following Kelis as well, too, because Kelis is, she's a trailblazer, man. I ain't going to lie. Like, she's one of those people that, she was very well known in America for, the Milkshake song, her being a rapper. And
she was the first girl to scream on a beat.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Kelis was her, man. And it just seemed like, to the American eyes, like she kind of drifted away for a little bit. We don't know really what she was doing. And then I just started seeing her popping up in Africa. I was like, what the heck? What the heck going on? I seen her in Tanzania. I was like, I was in Tanzania. And then I see her in Kenya. I was like, I was in Kenya. And then I was just seeing what she's doing. And then I found out what she was really doing. This woman bought 300 acres of land in Kenya. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. And she's showcasing the different side of Africa, exactly what we're doing on this show. We're showing the beauty, the opportunity of Africa. So now, Earn Your Leisure has caught up with Kelis in Kenya, and they did an interview. And this was a viral sensation, man. I ain't going to lie. Shout out to Alvin. He said...
they gave me a Swahili name.
let's call it Zawadi. Oh, wait, they gave you one too? Hold up.
They said yours was already Swahili.
Oh, yeah. Shout
Shout out to the chat. See
Shout out to
y'all.
the chat, man. Yeah, so my name... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
My name is Imani, right? Which is Swahili for faith. And what's crazy about that is, like, both of my parents are from America. Like, they're not immigrants from Africa, like, directly. You know what I mean? I'm a foundational black American, what you say. My ancestors went through slavery.
Good morning.
But my parents wanted to make sure that I had an African name because they realized that, we're still African. So it's crazy just how, like, all this caught up to me to this point. And me being in East Africa, I definitely felt so much at home speaking the Swahili tongue. You know what I mean? So, Asante Sana, Karibu, you know what I mean? Like, it was a vibe. It was a vibe being in Kenya and in Tanzania. So,
I didn't know
man.
Imani was Swahili.
Yeah. Yep. Imani's a Swahili name. And they said, let's call her Zawadi.
Zawadi.
You two just recommended me this at 5 a.m. Yo, welcome to the chat, man. Good morning.
Zawadi means gift.
Okay. Carmen has just been ordained with a Swahili name, so you'll call her Zawadi.
I'm Zawadi, a.k.a. Big Z.
Big Z, not the little one, man. Okay. So, we're going to dive into this episode. Oh, it means gift. That's dope. That's a fire name. Yeah. This is from Earn Your Leisure. This is why Kelis left America to buy 300 acres of farm in Kenya and show others how to build wealth in Africa. Now, we're going to split this up as well, too. There's some key parts of this interview that I wanted to dig into. I watched this like 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to lie. I shared it with my family and been watching it back. Really, really great interview. We just don't have enough time to react and break down everything. But let's go ahead and get into it. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it.
Live from Kenya with Kelis on her 150 acres, soon to be 300 acres of land. And in the background, you see this is actually a volcano. Very rare, little known fact. So, Kelis, where exactly are we at right now?
Okay, so we're in Naivasha. We're right off of Lake Naivasha. And this is Mount Longonot here. Behind this property, on the other side of the mountain, is the National Reserve. This is all privately owned land here. And it's great, yeah, because as you see, all the animals are free and they're running wild and we're farming and it's dope. We're building a little community out here.
Yeah, talk to us about the intent, right? We just walked and saw the farm, saw some red onions, some yellow onions. Tell us about what's happening here and what's going to be coming.
Okay, so my plan is to do an all-sustainable luxury retreat, like a resort. So along with the farming, doing agriculture, but also having a wellness space so people can come and spot up and relax. We'll have a fine dining restaurant, we'll have bungalows. It's all just about being one with nature, being out here and trying to keep it as part of the ecosystem as possible and just making it all go together. So what I learned in California, I'm bringing here, and I'm learning so much. Like I was telling you, I've learned so much about farming and just how to keep everything sort of as natural and using all the natural resources, the animals and all of it. So it's been great.
So we're going to have the detailed sit-down conversation about those important to get people a visual. So on this land, tell exactly what's on this land. You got farming, you got exotic animals, you have, like, what's does all encompass?
Okay, so yeah, we've got farming right now. We're farming onions. And then we've got wildlife, so just working with all of the natural resources. We've got giraffes and zebras and elands and impalas
wild
and
to
all
have in
kinds
your
of stuff. Sometimes
backyard.
you'll get blessed with an
Literally
elephant walking
wild.
through and the giraffes hanging out. So it's great because even like the Lake Naivasha, I think like December, January, you'll see it covered with like flamingos and we get all kinds of owls and ostriches. It's incredible. It's literally like God's country.
Alvin, what's this mean for Africa? Like to actually, for people to visually see things that they might not have an idea even exist.
I think we should just travel more. East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa. There's so much to see. I just think we should also be more educated about what's going on in the world right now. Like you said, we have wild animals, EYL, endangered species. But I just really want Black people to work together more. Just understand that like there's so much happening, and we have to really travel and just not be afraid. This was just over a year ago that we started having this conversation, and everyone's out here doing research, and this is going to be a beautiful project, and I want people to just pay attention and, ask as many questions as possible, but also be a part of it. That's it.
Yeah, we're looking at a lake in front of a volcano. I mean, these are rare sightings in the world, right? So talk about the question that everybody wants to know. Why Kenya?
Oh my goodness, Kenya's everything. Kenya has everything. It is the hub of East Africa for technology and finance and obviously agriculture. It just has everything, and it's got kind of the best of all the worlds. So you can be completely far away, like in rural plains like this, or you can be in Nairobi, which is a bustling city with great restaurants and shopping and things like that. So it's amazing. I think that for me, the takeaway is always like, as the diaspora, like wanting people to see that like it's super safe and you can invest money, you can be here, you can live here, I live here, and it's just got all the things you need.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's a wrap. All right.
All right, so I'm gonna round of applause for Kelis. Yeah, man. When she said Kenya is God's country, like I completely understand. Like being there, like it literally has everything. Like any kind of vibe you want to be, they have it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the ease of just business and just the environment, like they speak English there. You know what I mean? You want a beach vibe, go to Diani. You know what I mean? You want the big city vibe, be in Nairobi. If you want to be, in the farm and agriculture, then there you go, Lake Naivasha. So Kenya is such a beautiful country, man. And then, man, when you go, the Masai Mara, the safari, like, I've always watched like Animal Planet as a kid and like looked at like the animal life and like, oh, this is cool and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But being on a safari was such a different experience. I see why people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to be out there and do it. Like it's a feeling like it's hard to describe, but it's just being out there is just absolutely incredible. So, but yeah, shout out to Kelis. She got a freaking giraffe in her backyard. What are we talking about? What? That is insane. Okay. So.
A giraffe.
Yeah.
Is it hers or he just lives there?
Nah, he just lives there. He just coming to visit.
Okay.
He's walking by. You know what I mean? He just walking by, chilling. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna start here. Why she invested in Africa?
Investing in a place that doesn't make space for me, it just doesn't. To me, like it's not.
So you spoke to me about like how you didn't feel comfortable like putting your money anywhere where it wasn't like a Black country, right? Like talk about that, like just that mindset of like, why am I continuously investing in Western society when I can help build Africa?
I mean, it's really simple, right? Like I'm American. I'm proud of that. It is what it is, right? I never take that from anybody. That's what we are. It's at the stage right now where it's like if I'm continually investing in a place that doesn't make space for me, it just doesn't, to me, like it's not good business. It's just not, right? Even if I still live there, if I'm gonna put my hard-earned money somewhere, I wanna put it someplace where I can actually see it grow and I can actually see a benefit, right? Like I can do things here on the continent that I can't do in the States, right? And even like when I think about money going longer, right? And like, I can actually make a real impact here with just being here, right? And my time, my money, my energy. I think about my education, my worldliness, the things that I've learned. Anywhere where I go, I like to think that like, if I'm not benefiting, I shouldn't be there, right? And so I genuinely feel that way. And being here, I'm like, I want to be of use. You know what I mean? Like I want to be. It's not about charity. It's about like being part of a culture and part of a community. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants charity. It's about like, yo, I'm here. How can I be of use? Like put me to work. Like what can I do? You know what I'm saying? So whether it's farming or just showing people that I'm here and that you can invest and make businesses. I'm building a resort on my property. Like that to me is what makes the most sense. I look at my kids. I've got these beautiful black kids, and I put so much energy and time and money and schooling into them, and then I'm going to give them to a nation that's going to like shit on. It just makes no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That's my most valuable possession are these kids, and then I'm going to be like, okay, hope you make it. Like, do you know what I mean? Just like why?
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to worry about them getting shot or getting arrested or them not. It's just like, and not that things don't happen everywhere because they do, and that's, you know, we're being realistic. But if we can just take that out of the equation, that when I walk into a place, they're not immediately hating my bloodline and my lineage and everything that I come from, everything that I stand for, like. That's worth its weight in gold to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think at this era right now, forget the racial thing. When you think about just like financially, what's the smartest move? It's the continent, without a doubt. Like, first of all, it looks like, I use Kenya as an example, right? Because I was living in California. When you look at like the frontier, right? When people were like migrating from the East Coast to the West Coast for the gold rush and for mining and stuff, right? That's what Kenya is like right now. This place is it's prepared. The foundation has been laid. It's ready to rock. Like it can be it's already an amazing nation. But if we took the diaspora, if we put our money in nations like this, it's unstoppable. Why are we putting all our education and all of our time and all of our energy and all of our money into a place that doesn't have anything for us? You know what I'm saying? Like for me I have to fight for a loan in the States. Why? I make enough money. Like, it's dumb. You know what I mean? I'm like, look how much money I make. And they're like, well, you need blood. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is dumb.
Real.
You know what I'm saying?
That's that red tape I was telling you all
like,
about
real
earlier.
money. Why am I fighting for chump change and dumb interest rates? It just makes no sense to me. I'd rather take the cash that I have and build it where I know I can actually grow it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can make real money here. And we talk about real legacy, right? Whether it's politics or business or whatever it is, like, these nations are ready. And a lot of times when you look at a place like Kenya where like it was colonized, right? And so like when the white colonization, when that hand gets lifted, they're kind of just left, right? And everyone's fighting for themselves. And I'm like, we've been in the same position. You know what I'm saying? But like, come here. It's the same. It's like the same poison, different result almost. You know what I mean? But it's like, come out here, put your money here. Even if you don't want to live here, put your money here instead of investing in things that there's a cap. There's a cap on our ceiling, and everyone's acting like it's not there, and it is. And America's a little bit better than say Europe or whatever. But like, this is the future. Africa's our history, and it's our future. So to me, like, it makes the most sense to come and put our energy, our intellect, our education, our time here.
Yeah, it was part of the conversation we were having yesterday. It was like, I'm so happy that you're doing it so that people can see it. And I'm glad that we're being able to document it. You kind of alluded to it a little bit just before about your future plans for the land. Yes, it's farming, but it's so much more. Talk about the resort, talk about the architecture, the design, the purpose of it, where you're going with it.
So I'm so excited about it. I was looking for, well, first of all, I've been on tour for the past 25 years, right? So I've been in every hotel, every 5-star resort, spa, like you name it, I've been up in it, right? And I was just like, anyone knows a hotel, I know a hotel. I know a resort, I know a retreat, I know what I love, I know what luxury looks like. And when I came out here and I was like, yo, this place is paradise, like it's so beautiful, and I found my land, I was like, I want to do a wellness retreat. Like I want to do like a place where it's just black and luxurious and fabulous. And for me, like, I was looking at like, you know, the amount of hotels that are black owned, like at the level that I'm talking about, and just around the world, and there's not that many, it's like a handful. And I feel like the reason I was traveling around East Africa and I kept traveling, I've been acquiring land throughout East Africa because I want to be like a hotel group of just luxury, a black brand of just fabulousness. And like, so that's why we've got Rwanda and, you know, Tanzania and Kenya. And I feel like the diaspora needs a place to go, right? Like it's one thing to like, you know, call to action, but like, where do we stay while we're acting? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we eating? What are we doing? Like, you know, where are we decompressing and kind of all that stuff. And so on a small scale, I want to start there. Like that's the plan, is to do this like wellness retreat of like, food is medicine. I'm a chef by trade and a farmer now. And so, yeah, wanting to be able to make food that's like, we don't talk about it enough in our culture, right? You look at like black Americans and it's like the highest rate of diabetes, or women are it's just like all these issues, right? Which doesn't really make any sense. We're like, why is this happening? You know, like we all live in the same country, what's going on here? And we don't talk about wellness and health as black people enough, right? And so I went to Cornell and after I went to the Cornell, I went and I got my herbalist and ethnobotany certification, so I'm official. So that way I can start to talk about like our health and wellness. So it's one thing to have money, but how are we going to live long with our money, right? So it's like, that's all part of it, right? Like I want to live well, and it's about a sustainable level of like lifestyle, right? Like what does that really look like? And so that's what that's what the retreat is about. Like come, eat good, eat purposefully, relax, look at the giraffes. It's like, take your shoes off.
You want to tell them about the geothermal technology that potentially could be something
Well,
that changes
I
the game?
cannot
Absolutely.
wait
One of the
to,
things that's really dope about
visit
Kenya
her
also is the
resort
fact
when it's
that they are so aware and so ahead of the game as far as like sustainable and clean energy. And so even my apartment building is all solar generated, and it's this big apartment building. But where the property is, it's right at the base of Mount Longonot, which is where the geothermal, like they have a whole geothermal plant. And so the next step is to see if we can power the entire property with geothermal energy, which is just clean and sustainable and yeah.
So, and then what's also, you had mentioned as far as the farmland, right? You're going to open up opportunities for people to invest?
Absolutely. So since I've been out here, I get so many messages about people like, hey, how do I do this? And like, it can be overwhelming, right? Like it's a lot. And so I thought about, when I started doing the numbers and I was like, oh, okay, well, I only need, if I were to say I broke up 5 acres and obviously I have all this land, right? I've got 5 acres where we can start. I only need, for 10 acres, I need 130 people, right? So if I have 130 people that would want to invest and I can farm it for them, right? Because my girlfriend called me and she's like, well, if I buy the land, girl, will you farm it for me? And I was like, okay. I had to think, I was like, let me get back to you. Let me figure out what that would really take and what it would really cost and like, could I really do it before I say yes? And I did the numbers and I was like, oh, actually, I could totally do this. And if I do it this way, I can do it. So it's a really small investment for people. So say, if you do it right now for, like I said, if I have 10 acres and I do it at, it would be like $1,300 per person. I need 130 people for the year. By the end of that year, they would be farming. And then after that year, they start making money. So then it's also because I'll hire more people, so you'll be hiring more people, you'll be paying people here in Kenya to farm for you, right? And then you're actually being part of the community, even if you're not ready to come out here yourself. But it's actually financially feasible. I'm trying to make it so you can actually
like
do
a co-op.
It's like a co-op, yeah, it's called We Farm.
So you pay $1,300. The first year is just like a setup fee.
Yeah.
And then year 2, you start to see some money.
You'll start to see money.
You got to pay $1,300 every year?
No, so you won't have to give money again. And even so, the water and the salaries and things like that will come off the top of your dividends, but you won't have to give me any more money.
It's a one-time payment of $1,300?
One-time payment. Unless you want to do a larger plot, so it's like 300 square meters, which, like I said, is like the size of a house, like if you were building a house.
Yeah, one of the things we deal with, obviously in America,
Right.
is taxes
Yes.
and property tax. How does that work?
Police, I
having a
got
farm
1,300 for you
in-
right
in
now.
Kenya and throughout East Africa?
Right now.
So every country is different, obviously. The taxes here are a little less than the States. So they're like, it was like 20% or something like that. But I mean, yeah, it's like anything else. You got to pay taxes, right? You do it, but it's doable and it's all legit and you can see it, and that's why you get your KRA, your PIN number, and you just kind of start to do business like that. I think the other thing is, when you start hiring people here, like there are cuts and things like that because they want you to hire locals, and so that's been a big incentive just to,
Because I'm thinking in terms of benefits, right? Everything you're doing here is clean. Obviously, when we have clean energy or we get an EV, there's rebates and there's discounts for doing
absolutely.
that. Similar?
Similar, even, and I was talking to a friend earlier about it, really just talking about like, even if you plant trees, right? So you get like carbon credits, and so like every little thing counts, right? So things like that. So with a property my size, like we're gonna be planting tons of trees, right? So you let them know what you've planted, then you get carbon credits towards what, which is just another tax break, which is great. So things like that do exist, and it's just about getting in there and figuring out like, okay, well, how many people am I hiring? What is it gonna cost me? How many dependents do I have? Versus like Americans that are coming in here and working with its family or whatever, kind of all those, you break that down. But it's doable, and it's easier than the States from that perspective, for
You
sure.
still have to pay tax in America too?
For money I make in America, yeah.
Not for money you make here?
No.
So from an aspect of people that's looking to move to Africa, any country, there's a few things, right? Let's go through it. Schooling.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. You have
Oh, this about to
3
be
children
brilliant.
that are
You better
young,
break it down.
right? 1 teenager and then 2 younger children. Talk about your experience with bringing children out here and interrupting their schooling, interrupting their social circle that they already had, enrolling them into a new social construct and school.
Okay, well, I may not be the best person for the conversation. I'm not big on the system to begin with, right? So
School system.
I am not. I just never felt like it served us, and
Yeah,
so
it's
for me,
trash over here.
it was always adverse for me. My kids have been on tour with me since they were born, so my system has been a little bit different. What I will say though, in Nairobi specifically, there are great schools. Like there are great schools, and I know this really just because my neighborhood, like where we live, my kids who I set free every day and they just go and run wild with all their little friends, they all go to schools in the neighborhood, and they're just bright and smart kids, and it feels like America in the sense where like no one's behind. They're actually
Well,
way ahead.
your kids are homeschooled.
My kids are homeschooled.
But that's a conversation too, because a lot of people in America want to start the homeschooling
Right.
process. They're similar to that. But so that's interesting because you talk, one of your children is getting homeschooled by artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
How's that working out?
Well, I was skeptical at first, but my older kid was in such a good program, and it didn't start at the age that my son is at, so I needed to find something that I thought was comparable. And it's amazing, honestly. What's great about it is that the AI system, it's a new system. It's called Fusion Academy, but basically it's a new system, and it adjusts to according to like what he's learning and what stage he's at. So it's never just like brushing past something and be like, okay, we got to get to the next stage. It's not rushing him into anything. So if he's excelling in writing or reading, he could be in 5th grade, even though should be at a 3rd or 4th grade level, right? So it's not holding him back. It's accredited, and then it makes it so that we can travel and I can move and they can see the world. And to me, it's been the most amazing education. My kids their passports are crazy, right? Like their passports will rival anybody. They've been all over the world. I can dip out to Thailand. I can go to like South Africa. I can go to Egypt. Like we can do whatever we want, and it doesn't ever interrupt their schooling. To me, homeschooling is
It's 2 hours a day.
the best.
The AI.
It's 2 hours a day.
The AI
Which really, if you look at real school, like the kids are in school doing nonsense for most of the day. It's like recess and playing, and it's like, what is happening here?
I was a teacher for 14 years.
Right.
All right, let's talk about this, man. Too many gems are being dropped. Okay. This is revolutionary to me. To the homeschooling thing, I mean, I actually was homeschooled at one part of my life. For my middle school. For middle school, I was homeschooled. But I was always a very social kid. So, like, my parents always wanted to keep me in social circles and stuff like that, because there is a stigma, like, in America at least, like, for kids who are homeschooled, that they don't know how to interact with kids and stuff like that. But for somebody like Kelis, she travels, so her kids got to experience a lot more, and that's great. But this is incredible. The artificial intelligence piece is absolutely amazing, because 2 hours a day, and the school, the AI won't hold your kid back, or won't or won't push your kid. It won't hold your kid back, which is incredible. So I need to fix my camera too. But Carmen, I'm curious to know what your thoughts on this is too, because you mama. So. What are your thoughts on like the AI into schooling? Because I do think that this is eventually going to be what school looks like in the future. I think, yeah.
I agree. I do think that this is what schooling is. This is the future of schooling, especially because teachers are so underpaid.
Yes.
And like also are dealing with a new breed of child, like this post pandemic type of children. And honestly, like when I first heard the idea, I was in love with it just because I really personally like enjoy AI.
Yeah.
However, I did see a TikTok video like probably like a week or so ago, like just seeing people that were just so against it because I guess
people will lose their jobs.
Don't quote me,
okay,
because I'm just kind of giving my Cliff Notes version. But they were really upset because I think the prompts and like the information that they were feeding it was, I believe, like not true, or kids were finding ways to like manipulate it to have like propaganda and just like inevitably mess with the system, or the AI kind of feeding our youth some type of like end goal agenda, like just like going with whoever is responsible for creating the AI's system. Sorry, that was the best way I could describe it, but I personally, just based off of what she just described, like I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Because the other side of it is that, of course, like for every rule there's an exception, but for the most part, like the American school system sucks.
It's trash.
Kids
it's
are
really trash.
wasting hours. It's like having just babysitters until they're 18.
Right. Exactly.
And it's like
literally what it is.
Yeah, it's like. A lot of teachers, like, there's a very small handful of teachers that's been doing this for a very long time that still have a passion for teaching.
Yeah.
But like, outside of them,
it's not enough, too, because a lot of these teachers are, like, my mom was a teacher, very overworked. You know what I mean? Very overworked and underpaid. And you have, like, one teacher with, like, 50 to 60 kids in a classroom.
Right. And then, like, we're humans, so, of course, we get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't perfect. Like, they might want to turn on a movie because your teacher got a hangover. Like,
Right, yeah. Because
But-
where's the demand for there to be teachers? It's like, okay, you have to go, get your bachelor's in education and do all this stuff. And then now you're going to go get a job that's only going to pay you like 40, 50K a year. Like, where that makes
Exactly.
sense? Like,
exactly. So it's like I'm not against the AI teaching. I guess there's a dark side to both things. But would I do it? Most likely.
yeah.
Because you got to think about it. In the next couple of years, it's like I'm not sure what this AI teacher looks like now.
Right. And,
What that looks like, but I'm not mad at it. Especially like if you are able to feed the prompts as well.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
we've taken so much out of our curriculum, especially they're trying to take Black history out.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
trying to,
My kids
like,
going to learn about all that stuff, like, that they're trying to
Exactly.
take out. Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's like,
Yeah, I think you made a really good point. I think we're still in the very, very early stages. So AI is only as smart as the knowledge that it has, and it's only going to get smarter over time. So right now, it may not be the best, but at some point in time, it is going to be smart enough to handle teaching,
I don't have any.
effectively. You know what I mean? So that is definitely something to think about. So, it may not be this year. It might be next year. It might be in a couple of months. Who knows? But or this program that she has for her child, Kelis, might actually be, a great program. But I think this is incredible, especially for like entrepreneurs or people who are in the work where they travel. Like, this is a beautiful opportunity that they don't have to put their professional or entrepreneurial life on hold. They can literally take their kid with them, teach them business, teach them entrepreneurial
Actual skills that you can take into
And
life
learn.
versus like, this is photosynthesis. Like,
Right,
this is
right.
cool, but like,
Yeah, because like you'll spend like years teaching the kids something that they're never going to use again in their entire life. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, the piece that I really like is that the fact that, like, okay, what if your kids are in fifth grade, but they can read at a 8th grade level? You don't want to hold them back to a 5th grade level. They're going to be bored, and if they're going to be bored, they're going to act out. You know
but
what
then
I mean?
also the other side of it is that like I wouldn't want to see so many people unemployed.
That's the only side of it, is that we might lose an entire industry. Of
I feel like we're
teachers.
gonna lose a lot of industries.
Yeah.
Like,
They keep on trying to say like, no, you're not, blah blah blah, but it's inevitable. Like, it's like if something is more effective, if
yeah, I was gonna say in a world where like convenience is like top priority these days.
yeah,
Like, it's the convenience of
right,
I don't have to have these. Like, you won't need to have a parent teacher conference because your AI is gonna give you a report.
right. Or they might
Or-
find a hybrid way to do it, because obviously this.
I was thinking that too, like a hybrid.
Yeah, because like obviously, parents still gonna have to work and stuff like that, so they may not be able to be home and make sure the kids are actually using AI. But like, if there is an upgraded school system where maybe one teacher can help all
lay
these
down.
students
Right there.
with using AI to help. So, one thing to think about. All right, let's get back to it.
A lot of time is wasted, though.
A lot of
right?
time is wasted.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Education is important. I'm glad you both spoke about homeschooling. The other thing that's important when people want to move is healthcare. And I think people really don't understand how powerful Kenya is and the role that they play, especially on the continent in healthcare. Give some information about the level of excellence that is provided here.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up, actually, because I didn't really understand it, and we have such a negative connotation to the content. We've been so fear-mongered, right? So just to put it in perspective, okay, so again, my lawyer, who's out here, he's a very
We
successful
gotta meet
man.
this lawyer.
He's great. You actually should meet him. He's really fantastic, but he's great. But he was telling me that his mother or grandmother got very ill, and they were terrified, so they brought them to the States to get all the medical help that she needed. He said when he brought her back, he was so appalled because he was like the amount of money that he spent, the effort bringing this woman back and forth who was already ill. He was like, when he went to the doctors here, they were going to do the exact same thing, and she ended up doing the second round of chemo and everything here. He said it was exactly the same. Their facilities are exactly the same. Since I've been here, I've had an MRI. My sister actually is having surgery this week. My cameraman had a root canal. Like, literally, Kenya has some of the best healthcare. It's cheap. It's great. The doctors are fantastic. It's different. Like, for me to walk into every hospital office and talk to a black person who's going to talk to me and not talk to me like I'm stupid. I've had more diagrams drawn for me. They're like,
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure Karma gets that piece too. So this is good. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Steiger, what's good, bro? Shout out to Steiger in the building. Shout out to Satch in the building. Job in the building. Let's see. My man Alvin. So AI will take jobs and already has started taking the jobs, especially here. They are betting big on it. Yeah, man. It's one of those things like you can't, when a wave is happening, I always learned you never want to fight the wave. You want to ride it. You know what I mean? Pause. But you want, if something is going a direction, it's better to get ahead of it. Like I learned that China is actually using the AI and stuff like that for their children in their education system. You know what I mean? So like, while our universities are trying to ban AI and stuff like that to stop people from using using it in colleges and stuff like that, they're encouraging it in other countries, and they're going to have more efficient, better work because they're going to be less stressed. They'll get more work done efficiently, and we're going to be burnt out. So, yeah.
And another thing is like they said, there's not going to be that like, oh, I'm rushing you to the next thing. It's like whenever you're ready.
Right, exactly. It's like, okay, cool. And if you're behind in something, it's like, okay, it's going to work with you until you can get to that next level.
And the really cool thing about what I just thought of, it, because it's so flexible and it can adapt to one particular person, it probably will be so great for children with different learning styles.
Exactly.
Like,
you can talk to it like it'll be your own personal. It's like having your own personal teacher, your own personal tutor. What most people need.
Help.
It will help. Like it will help a lot. It will help a lot of people, a lot of children. So, I mean, shit, it's helping me.
Yeah.
It's helping me for sure. But yeah. But she's about to dig into the healthcare piece in Kenya as well too.
Again, my lawyer, who's out here, he's a very successful man. He's great. You actually should meet him. He's really fantastic, but he's great. But he was telling me that his mother or grandmother got very ill, and they were terrified, so they brought them to the States to get all the medical help that she needed. He said when he brought her back, he was so appalled because he was like the amount of money that he spent, the effort, bringing this woman back and forth who was already ill. He was like, when he went to the doctors here, they were going to do the exact same thing, and she ended up doing the second round of chemo and everything here. He said it was exactly the same. Their facilities are exactly the same. Since I've been here, I've had an MRI. My sister actually is having surgery this week. My cameraman had a root canal. Like, literally, Kenya has some of the best healthcare. It's cheap. It's great. The doctors are fantastic. It's different. Like, for me to walk into every hospital office and talk to a black person who's going to talk to me and not talk to me like I'm stupid. I've had more diagrams drawn for me. They're like, let me draw it for you. Let me help you out because you're not getting, like, it's been so, it's just, there's a sense of peace, and it's actually, like, it's really good healthcare. And quite frankly, around the continent, people travel to Kenya and South Africa. That's what I keep hearing. Everyone's going to South Africa or Kenya to get healthcare. So Kenya has really good healthcare, and it's like really affordable. Like, my MRI cost, I think it was like $40.
So you have health insurance?
No,
Or just
not
pay out
here.
of pocket?
I pay out of pocket. It's so cheap.
You what?
You can get health
Right,
insurance here.
exactly.
You can get it here. It exists. It's so cheap though. Like, when my cameraman got his root canal, he said it was like a full root canal. They did the X-rays, like the whole thing. The office is really nice. I think what he said was like $200.
All right, let me give you guys a quick history on the healthcare system in the United States as a black person. There's a real fear of black people going to the hospital because there were hospitals. You could be sick and you come to a hospital to get well, and then you end up leaving with something worse, or you end up dead. There was actually a hospital in California. They recently did a study on this. But so there's a fear of black people going to the hospital. And I hear for black women as well, too, like, you know, when it comes to childbirth, when it comes to just all these kind of things, you know, it's like the doctors don't care or they don't believe, like, the pain that some of these women are going through and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you'll be fine. It's like they brush you off like it's not, like you're not important, you know what I mean? Or they don't listen to them effectively. So they hear Kelis talk about, like, these doctors actually care. They want to help. You can get the same level of service that you were going to get in America in Kenya and spend like 10% of what you would spend, like $40 for MRI is absolutely insane. I have friends and people that I know that if they got injured or whatever the case is, not to take an ambulance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People would take Ubers to go to the emergency room because it was more affordable. That's insane. Yeah, like I like for real.
Bill. Oh my god, I got
ambulance bills
one
insane.
time. I don't even remember it.
Yeah,
but I seen that bill.
I remember one of my friends, he passed out, and we didn't know what else to do. We called 911. Like, yeah, put him in an ambulance and take him there. Mom got pissed. He like, this ambulance bill is like racks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's insane, man. So yeah.
They charge you for a bottle of water on that
I
night.
swear to God, man, it's disgusting, man. This is gonna be an episode that we're not gonna get canceled on, so I'm not gonna go into the medical industry or big pharma. Uh, but anyway, shout out to Joe. He said Botswana is one of the countries that offers free cancer treatment to their
Oh.
citizens. Healthcare in the continent is good. Um, yeah, and even when I was in Kenya too, like I met a lot of people who were nurses and like going to school for that as well too. Like they were getting the nursing stuff so they can come to America to work to be nurses over here. But yeah, shout out to Botswana too. Botswana is another sleeper country as well too. Botswana has a lot of great things about it. It's the diamond country that we looked at that one time. Yeah, Botswana is a sleeper. We need to get back to them
If I
too.
find a diamond, can I keep it?
I mean, technically, most of our DNA, we got some Bantu in us, and I know the Bantu be up in Botswana,
Yeah,
so it's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
We
But
part
yeah.
diamond poke.
Yeah, man. Okay, he said, Kenya has the second best healthcare on the continent. People do medical tourism there. Oh wow, did not know that. That's another really good selling
Do
point
they
for
have
Kenya.
good plastic surgeons too?
That's hey, what's up? What's up?
Asking for a friend.
Right. I'm getting dental procedures in Nairobi. If you don't mind, how much that costs?
They do veneers.
Right. I got my Invisalign right now, but yeah,
You're halfway done. I mean,
I should be. I don't know. No, but I just be showing up.
I don't
It's
even
like
got
a
the
lot.
like energy to like restart that process.
It's
so,
a
like,
lot.
Ouch.
It's a lot. We have a mix. There's free healthcare, but with public hospitals. And then if you're on a medical aid, then you can go to the private hospital route. Okay. I've heard about Americans getting charged for calling the ambulance in one of the videos. Why is that? Oh, greed. Greed. Money. Greed. I
The
mean,
way I needed an ambulance outside of the country, and I didn't know that they wouldn't have charged.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
didn't find out until I got back. I was like, I did what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's these are, man, there's people that go in debt, lose their homes and stuff like that over medical bills, man. Like medical bills is a real thing. Like you really get scared going to the hospital because it's like, bro, do I really want to spend $50,000 because I got like a sprained ankle?
Like I work in like property management.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't understand how many people I've came across, and then you're like, yeah, I'm downsizing because they were sick, and they're just like,
Yeah.
it's so heartbreaking.
Right.
Because it's like I've lived in my home for 30, 40 plus years, and now I'm in an apartment. Never lived in an apartment
Wow.
my adult life, and it's like big change, and it's just like it should be a given.
As much money that we pay in taxes, it should be a given. Why are we paying for ambulance? Like literally, like. But it's a system, guys, and I'm trying not to get canceled. But god damn it, they put it in the food. They make us sick. They make us go to them. They sell us medication to not heal us, but to medicate us. And it's a revolving door, and it costs money. We're coming back home. We're coming to Africa, y'all. It's ghetto over here. I'm not gonna lie. The grass is not greener over here. You can come over here and make money, but you're gonna be stressed out.
The
You might
grass
get
is
cancer.
spray painting green, and that's not a joke.
I'll be honest.
That is real.
I'll be honest, guys. A lot of you
Raspberry
guys.
brown, they color. Have you seen them do that?
Yes.
That's real.
that turf. Yeah, a lot of you guys don't know the value and the beauty that you guys have in the countries that you have. Like even when I went to Kenya, the fact that you guys know your last name, the fact that you guys know your heritage, you know your tribe. Like I know there's like tribal stuff that be happening in parts of Africa, but
Slightly off topic.
No,
I
what's up?
must know. Do you all have tolls, or do certain countries have tolls?
Yes, they
Because
do.
They do.
They do. Yeah. So Kenya, for example, they actually built a new high-speed rail system. Well, not high-speed rail, high-speed highway system. So it's like, Nairobi's traffic can be really hectic.
Why
So
do I have to pay money when I already have to pay for gas to get from one place to another?
So it's an option. You don't have to pay it. So there's two. So
I just go the longer way.
right. So basically, what they did was, and I think the Chinese built this as well too. And it's a good option. I would do this. It's kind of like, in Virginia how they have the Dulles, like the toll road. If you do want to bypass traffic, it's an option. So in Kenya, in Nairobi, they have
Well,
the
if I ain't
regular
got
way.
it on me and I go that way anywhere, they don't send me a $200 bill.
I think you pay cash. I forgot how you do. I think you pay cash right
Why
there.
don't we take cash anymore?
Oh, well, Bitcoin.
Or Apple Pay.
Oh, crypto.
Hey, let me Apple Pay at the toll, please.
No, everything needs to be digital. So
Let me Apple Pay at the toll.
No, please. When they shut down the internet and the power, they need you to be, helpless and not have any change on or coins on you or anything like that. So, no, that's conspiracy time. Sorry. But yeah, the highway in Nairobi is like you got the regular pathway, all the traffic, the roundabouts and stuff like that, and then you have the high-speed highway that literally drives right over top of it. So you can just bypass the traffic if you don't want to deal with it. I would pay that. I ain't gonna lie. That's a value that I can see straight value from that. If you need to get somewhere quickly or something like that, I would definitely take that. So yeah. You can pay cash or M-Pesa. So they do have M-Pesa.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
you
forgot
can-
about M-Pesa.
yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Coop's Corner came to Nairobi recent for hair implant. Shout out to Coop's Corner, man. Shout out to Jackson Cooper. Steiger said capitalism. That is the correct answer. All right.
That's a different system because most Americans are not used to just paying a doctor, right? They're used to paying health insurance, but we know how expensive that can be.
Well, the other thing is, like, I can text the doctor and be like, hey, and he answers, and they answer, like, and there's just a certain sense of, like, pride and, like,
Texting your doctor, like.
I think a lot of times I feel like in the States, everyone's so kind of jaded and, you know what I mean? Like, just they don't care anymore. Here, I feel like there's such a sense of pride. Like, it's like, I'm Kenyan, I'm a doctor, and I will help you. And you're like, thank you.
Who was telling us about I think it might have been Rwanda where they were saying, like, the doctor come to your house.
Literally. I've had doctors come to the house, like, for sure. Like, when my little one had a fever, like, and they're just glad and happy, and, like, it's so different. But healthcare here is actually really good. And I was skeptical just because of what I'd heard. Just nonsense about Africa, right? And you're like, well, what are you going to get? And it's legit.
Well, another misnomer when it comes to Africa, like even when we started spending a lot of time going to Ghana and stuff like that, it's starting to break now, but for a long time, people in America, right, Black Americans, they were like, well, they don't want you in Africa. They're not going to treat you well. You're going to be accepted as that. You're going to be treated like an outsider. That's an ideology that has permeated throughout America, different parts of the world. How has that been for you?
I'll be honest. First of all, Kenya, to me, I feel like out of a lot of the countries, and Ghana, I will say, actually, are the most welcoming. Fact. We're like, no, for real, genuinely. It's true. But there's a reason,
Love
right?
Ghana,
It's
love
because they
Kenya.
know. They're aware. So they understand the history. Like, you'll go to certain countries and they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. Slave to whom and why and where and why should I care? And I don't know what you're talking about. I think as Americans, we assume that everyone knows our history, and they don't, right? And it's not their fault. Like, they weren't taught our history. So while we walk around with this like chip on our shoulder, like, this has been terrible, and you guys should know that it's been terrible, and I'm here because I don't know what we're doing, and they're looking at you like, what is that chip? What is that about, right? So that has
They
happened.
don't know what's going on in America.
They have no
And they
idea.
don't know the history of Africa.
They have no idea, and then all they see is TV, and they see us rolling, right? And they see us ball, and they're like, why are you mad? What are you mad about? The first time I came to the continent, I was about 17, and I was in Zimbabwe, and I was spending 3 months there, and they kept saying, they were like, the angry American girl. They didn't even consider me black, and they were like, she's pissed, right? Like, and it was like such a strange exchange for me. I was like, this is so crazy, because I'm nothing but black in America. Nobody cares what you're mixed with, nobody cares, right? You were black, that's it. So I've been black my whole life, so it didn't make any difference to me. Till you come out here, and they're like, in South Africa or in Zimbabwe, like, you're a Gaffel, or you're a Mzungu, or you're colored, or you're all these other things, right? Most of the time, it comes from just not knowing, and this is your opportunity to let them know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't walk around with a chip on my shoulder. I'm American. I'm very, very profoundly aware of our struggle. But I also understand that, like, their perspective is so different, right? They're like, a lot of times you talk to people and, like, they're on their land. This is like, this is their grandma's land, and their grandpa, and then their and they've been on this land forever. So they look at you and they're like, yo, what's your beef? Why are Americans so mad? And they have no idea. And then also they look at it like the same lie that we've been told, like how it's subpar here, they've been told that America is the land of dreams and that we're all living it up and that everybody's just rolling in dough and popping champagne all day. So we've got this massive disconnect about who we actually are, and so you can't really, it's like, we don't know, they don't know. Somebody's got to let everybody know, right?
I think that's why it's so important that you're here.
Yeah.
And that we're having this conversation, because it sheds light. It changes narrative. Obviously, you've had an amazing music career, but do you feel the magnitude or the importance of what you're now doing in Kenya in terms of business and farming and infrastructure? Do you feel the weight of that, or it's just like, you know what, I'm kind of living in my purpose?
I think both, yeah. Like, I came out here, again, not with some grandiose, like, idea. I started documenting it because every time I went anywhere, I was, like, shocked. And then I felt dumb. I was like, I've traveled so much. Like, why do I feel so ignorant? Like, this is crazy, right? Like, I've been around the world. Why does this feel so new? And I would be like, film this. I'm like, this is beautiful, or this is amazing, or this is delicious, or look at this lady's outfit, or whatever it was. I would be like, I wanted people to see it. I was in shock and in awe. And I felt like if I was, then the rest of my people didn't know, right? Like, I'm like, how did I not know this, right? Like, how did I not see this? So I didn't come out here like, I'm going to show everybody, like, you know?
I will lead you.
Yeah, it couldn't be further from that. It was just me trying to figure my own shit out. But once I got here, and then Kenyans specifically love TikTok. So, like, people were coming up to me and they're like, yo, I saw what you're doing on TikTok. I love it. And that's when I started to realize people were even caring, because I'm a Black American. I think in Black American terms. So I'm always thinking about my folks back home, right? I'm like, I want to show my people back home what's happening, right? And, like, it wasn't until Kenyans and Rwandans and Zambians and people were like, yo, we love what you're doing. Like, I see this. This is so good. People, that's when I was like, oh shit, this is like a real thing. I'm like, okay, this is like a responsibility. Like, it didn't hit until it hit,
So from a travel standpoint, I know you've been all over the continent. What's your top 5 places that you've been to, and why?
Uh-oh, here we go.
Kenya, obviously. Okay, so Kenya is a metropolis. It has everything, right? Literally anything you want to do. Families, kids, you want to go out, great cocktails, it's here. Like, beauty and safety and kind of like, just order, Rwanda. Partying and like just acting a fool, Uganda.
Oh, yeah,
It's got a great nightlife. Let's see, Zambia and like Zimbabwe for just like natural wonders. You're just like, wow, this is insane, right? You've got like Mosi Otunya, also known as Victoria Falls, which we will not acknowledge that name, but the waterfalls, and like you've got, it's just like so amazing. You feel like you're like one with nature at all times, right? Just absolutely stunning. Of course, Ghana.
Wow.
Food. I was getting there, first of all. Relax your body.
It almost felt.
Relax your body. So Ghana has some of the best food, I would say, on the continent.
I'm with you.
I absolutely feel that way.
In the world.
Yeah, it does. It also feels, and I will say this, being that I'm like Caribbean also, it feels the closest to home.
Same.
Like, nothing there felt like
What part
weird
of the
or
Caribbean?
foreign. My family, Puerto Rico and Barbados.
Jamaican.
So for us, I'm like, oh, I eat this. I was like, okay, I do this. I can make this. I got this. This is delicious.
Very
This
similar,
feels like home. The people also are lively and loving and warm. One of them not so much right now, but the rest of the country is great. I mean, also too, I think being like, I have so many Nigerian and Ghanaian friends that like, it also just felt really like home. It felt so like, nothing felt foreign or different or like,
What about South Africa?
Okay, so South Africa, here's the thing. I never pull any punches. I always try to be honest. South Africa, Cape Town specifically, is one of the prettiest places on earth.
Oh, hold on, y'all. I don't want to miss this. She don't like Ghana. Nah, she like Ghana, man. You could tell, like, okay, this is like anything. Americans were like this. It's the East or the West. Like, even in Baltimore, it's over East, over West. And D.C. is like, Northeast, Southeast, or Uptown, Southwest. Like, we look at it that way. So I can see, like, if you go to Africa, you're going to pick, are you an East African person or you're a West African person?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just the vibe. She's an East African person, so, yeah. She about to throw in a big butt. Steiger, hold it down for South Africa in the chat, man. She gonna say what she gonna say. I already heard what she said, but hold it down for South Africa in the chat, man.
I never pull any punches. I always try to be honest. South Africa, Cape Town specifically, is one of the prettiest places on earth. Fact. It's very white, so that doesn't feel like Africa to me. So the reason why I moved, everyone's like, why did you move to Cape Town? It's tempting. Super tempting. It's super tempting. I'm like, I just put my money here. But then I'm like, okay, I'm playing myself. So total hypocrisy, right? But it's like gorgeous, right? But it's like they always take the best stuff, right? It's like it's just like you got beach, it feels like California in the sense where it's like you could be up in the mountains in snow, you could be on the beach in crystal clear water, you could be at the wineries. Like, Cape Town's just stunning. Joburg has a lot of culture and a lot of vibe. It's just not the safest. But like music, when I think about like for me as an artist, like every time I'm there, I'm just like the music is like electric, right? So there's that. Zanzibar is beautiful. I personally I prefer Diani and Mombasa and like the whole coast of Kenya. Just as far as like safety and cleanliness and like it's the same water, it's the same Indian Ocean, the same beach. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that was the hardest part about buying land was like every country has something so dope and special to offer, right? Tanzania is robust and lush, and it's just like so much greenery everywhere, right? Everybody has something to offer. So really just got to pick a place to put some money in it.
I mean, when you name the top 5, it's interesting. We met in Kigali last week, and I'm thinking to myself, what is the strategy when you're trying to invest? Is it that I'm looking for the greenery? Am I looking for the education, healthcare? What are the things when you're looking to say, all right, here's why I want to buy land? Because I know you've got land in a few countries.
Yeah, I think it's like you got to figure out what your priorities are, right? I mean, for me, like I said, I look at like government. Kenya has a democracy. People speak out against things. Like those are things that I was used to. So when I was thinking about like culture shock and what I was going to be able to like what I want to raise my kids in, that was like a logical choice, right? Education, all the things that we need are here. If you're looking for rural and a little bit less developed, in my opinion, Tanzania is a gold mine. It's absolutely stunning. There are a lot of the diaspora there already in Dar es Salaam. There's like, you look at Zambia. Zambia is more rural. But again, I know Americans that have gone to Zambia to mine. Brilliant. I'm not a miner, but it's brilliant. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that just wasn't what I was going to do, but I get it. So when you look at things like that, like they're coming and they're putting money in, Zambia has tons of copper and all kinds of other stuff, right? So it just depends on what you're into. The easiest countries to buy stuff in though is definitely, Rwanda without a doubt in the sense that they have a no nonsense policy, right? So you're never going to be taken. Like it's not going to happen. You put your money in, you're going to get what you put your money in for. Yeah. Kenya, I think it takes a little bit longer, but it's like really straightforward. They're like, these are the things you have to do, and it's like no games, right? So that makes sense. Tanzania is a little bit harder because they want someone from, like if you don't have people there, they want someone from Tanzania to be part of the business with you. So that's a decision you'd have to make, right? Every country has something. There are certain countries that will work with you. They just want Americans to come, and they understand the power that we have, our buying power, and that will bring others. Zambia is one of them. Like they want to play. They want to play. So they're like, what do we do to help you? So it just depends, Kenya, to me, like I said, as far as like being a first time, it was the easiest, like, this all made sense to me. Like I understood all the process. There's, like I said, only a few things that I thought were like, I don't know if I want to send them that money. You know what I mean? Like, but then I did it and it was like totally legit. And I asked around before I did it and they were like, no, that's the way we do it here. Because I'm like, he's trying to get me to send him money. But then once I did, I was like, okay. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right?
So you'll send the money track. So let me ask you this: as far as you doing a lot with real estate, right? From the agricultural standpoint, investing. Anything in the entrepreneurial space, like business outside of real estate?
Well, yeah, I've built 2 apps since I've been here.
We'll talk about that.
Well, the first one is something called
got
Check.
that
It's
money,
a security
bro. Like,
app,
shout out
actually.
to her, bro.
It's just sort of one of the things I noticed about like all of the buildings here. They have a very like antiquated system where it's a book. I just thought, like, I don't want to write all my information on this book. So it's really just a simple way to kind of streamline.
Check-in process.
Yeah, because everybody has a check-in process here, right? So things like that. And then the other app it's in the works right now, but it's another kind of like a work app, right? Because when I came out here, I was like, well, how do I find a nanny? How do I find a housekeeper? How do I buy a car? Because kind of all those things, right? So it's like sort of an information hub for people like me that would need help finding these things, So they don't have anything like that here. So when I came and I was like, well, how do I find a nanny? They're like, oh, the UN has a bulletin board. You have to go and look. And I was like, I'm not going to the UN. I was like, I don't even belong in the UN. I was like, how do you even let me in?
So you're dark. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, that's just not
Yes.
like, so like, you think about like a care.com type of thing, but like for kind of the whole sort of nannies and housekeepers and gardeners and the things that you need just to like have like
That's something I didn't take into consideration either. Like I thought like universal, like certain apps were like universal. Like I
Right.
would have thought that's like hello. Oh, okay. I would have thought that was
Something universal that all the countries will have.
yeah. Like
But this is what I love about what Kelis is talking about here. Instead of her being, judgmental of the country, like, oh, they don't have this, so I'm just sick of Kenya because I can't find a name. She's like, let me build an app.
yeah. Let me add to like she was saying earlier. Like let me add something while I'm here instead of take.
Exactly. So we think about, here in America, like think about all the apps that are designed here that we use and stuff like that. You can literally take the idea here and do it in Africa, and now you're a millionaire.
Now you have money.
It's ding. You know what I mean? Same in Burkina Faso. Like the guy is like, okay, we don't have Lyft or Uber here. I'm gonna make a Uber or Lyft here. We got electric vehicles. We just collaborate with them, and now we're gone. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the opportunity that Africa has that we can't do here, and we have an advantage because we have everything here. We have all the apps and information. And imagine if we just had that mindset, like, okay, let's go to our brothers and sisters on the continent. You guys are lacking this. Here's this. This is how you do it. Boom. Now we're rich. You know what I mean? I know it's definitely more complicated than that, but you see what I'm saying. At least the idea to, the
Do
potential.
groundwork.
Yeah.
get your life started, that kind of thing. But when I was looking, I looked up like Kenyan app developers, and like this is young, all Kenyan team of guys that like really inexpensively and affordably built this very proficient app for me. And so it's doable. So I'm doing things like that. I'm in the process of manufacturing my wellness and beauty products here. So that's happening.
Yeah. Well, I can't let you leave without talking about music, right? We were talking before, like, I don't have to go to America to make my music.
I don't.
It's here. I can do it here. I can get mixed and get mastered. Talk about the music.
So I started recording my last record in California, and then I obviously dipped. So I had to finish, and so I did the second half of my record all here in Kenya. So I recorded it here. I used a lot of, I used some South African producers. I have an East African engineer. Like it all came together. Everything's here.
When does that come out?
I'm releasing my single this summer. So, but then probably.
Yo, she got a record with Colograph Jones.
Yeah, I'm
What's
glad
going
you talk
on,
about the
man?
apps too, because that's another thing we didn't talk about. But Kenya is a tech hub of
It
Africa,
is.
so that's another thing people need to be aware of. The technology, sometimes that's another misconception. People automatically assume that it's going to be a drop off in technology, and we all are relying on technology, so that's a deterrent. Like, I don't want to have to deal with 1G Wi-Fi, and I'm not going to. Like,
No, I mean, you see it, right? Like, listen, I watch my Apple TV every day. I'm like, my internet works. Like, everything is good. It's completely like, it's as modern as it. Quite frankly, it's probably better here than it was on my farm in California. Like, you get all of the. And even like when I was talking about, you're saying the tech, they have a whole tech city. It's like, Silicon Savannah that they've been building. And I don't know how long it's gonna take, but like just the idea that like there are people going to school. I have a kid who works for me that helps me out with stuff, and he's getting his degree in all kinds of engineering and tech, and like they have everything here. So like, it's a whole young community of people that are super capable, and it's really modern. And like I said, you can build. It took like a couple months to build my app. You know what I mean? Like, and they're ready and they're down to do it, and they're completely capable.
We were driving earlier today, and we were trying to figure out where we were, and they were like, "Oh, they're across the street from the Microsoft building." So when we say it's here,
Yeah.
it's here. We were talking to the driver, and he was like, in terms of data centers, and we talked about companies building them, Meta, Google, Amazon, Apple. They're here, right? And they have the engineers working here. And so, again, tech hub for sure, but like the innovation is here too, because the population is so young. When they get this
Exactly.
information, I mean, the trajectory is so far greater.
It's amazing. You feel it though. I think you guys, like, this is your first time here, right? Like, you feel the energy here, right? Like, you can sense that, like, this is a place where, like, things are growing fast and happening fast. Like, I always say, it's like, this is like the diaspora's gold rush. Like, everybody needs to come here, because there will be a point when it's going to be unattainable, right? Like, I look at the land that I bought, it's already appreciated. Like, if I were to sell with the little bit that I've done right now, it's already a quarter more than it's actually less than a year that I bought it, right? It just, everything is happening here, and it's happening quickly, right? And so it's like, I saw something, and it's like this old white billionaire, and he's like, yeah, Africa is the future. And it's like, sir, first of all, it's like, I feel like it's frustrating, because I feel like they always know it, and then we doubt it, and then by the time we figure it out, it's always too late. So it's like, this is the time now. This is a place where you can invest and you can see returns quickly and actually be of use and actually make a dent in something, right? It's not a rat race.
Oh, thank you for your time. Tell them for the website, if they want to get more information on the land, like how they can buy a piece and anything else.
For sure. Well, definitely just follow me, on Instagram at Kelis, and then you. Follow me on Instagram at Kelis. I'm always talking about it. I am setting up the website, We Farm. So I'll start talking about it on my social media, so you can start to see when that's up and running. It's going to be really soon, though. And there will only be a certain amount of places to start, because I'm starting small. Like I said, 130 people. But yeah, definitely just check me out and go to bountyandfull.com and get your stuff.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A wrap on the set, live from Kenya.
Yeah, shout out to the producers, the production team. Shout out to
Thanks,
Alvin.
guys.
Shout out to Ghana.
Shout out to Ghana. Heaven forbid. Such a hater.
Soundbra City. Soundbra City.
Love Ghana.
The great connector himself.
We're in Kenya right now.
Round of applause.
Right there. That's where you gotta make a cigar.
And Kelis. I absolutely love this interview. Yeah, I love everything about it, honestly. She's right, and I think it's great that there's people, in the diaspora letting everybody else know, like, it's what you see is the truth. Like, this is happening now. These other people are already here. Bill Gates, we just heard Bill Gates talking about him giving 99% of his inheritance to the continent of Africa. He literally went to the UN. Bill Gates went to the UN, not the UN, I'm sorry, the African Union, and said that he's giving 99% of his inheritance to Africa.
When he dies?
When he dies. He's
I
not
know
giving
his
it to his
kids
kid.
are bad.
Yeah, I know.
I
Right.
would
He's-
off him to death. Okay.
Right.
Father.
We've seen other videos of billionaires talking about how Africa is industry, how the Chinese are there. How he said Microsoft is there, Verizon is there. Like there's so many things happening. The time is now. It's urgent. The longer that the diaspora waits, if you're thinking about it, you should do it. Like I'm definitely, my mind is already racing. Like how soon can I get up out of here and get over there? I'm gonna be honest with you.
Same.
Yeah.
Every time, every Monday. I think
Every
that
Monday. Yeah. Every Monday is a reminder for us to just be like, okay, the time is
gots to
ticking.
go.
The time is ticking. And yeah, shout out to Kelis once again. Oh, actually, right here. Shout out to Kelis once again. She actually she's also supportive of Burkina Faso as well too. She got her own trying to see if I can find the video. Yeah, she has her like own shirt here.
For a year now, I had a plan. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it, but I knew that I wanted to do something that was useful. I always say, bless the work of my hands, right? So, feed the people. Everything I do that's from this website is going to give a percentage to feeding the children in East Africa. So I made this t-shirt. I'm so obsessed with all of the African leaders that are starting to stand up. I've been watching this guy, Ibrahim Traore. I think everything he's doing is smart. I think we need more heroes like him. I'm so obsessed with all of the African leaders that are starting to stand up and take a stand and take their countries back and make these really amazing, bold statements. So go to Feed the People, it's PPL, not people.com, and you can get your shirt today. And don't forget, that means you're donating to feeding children in East Africa. You can get your shirts, you can see what else we're gonna be putting up there. We'll put new drops on there all the time. It's really just to be part of the community, part of the society, part of the move and the change and the revolution.
You can definitely tell her heart's in the right place. She's doing the right thing. Like she's also very informative as well too, to see what's going on, along the continent and supporting, everything. So, this has just it's been incredible to watch. I'm still paying attention. I'm still learning, and yeah, man, I got to figure it out. I don't know, man. Is it going to be Kenya for me? Is it going to be Ghana for me? Is it Rwanda? Is it South Africa? Botswana? Zambia? You know what I mean? There's options, you know what I mean? But what I do know is that we definitely need to take some tours. We definitely need to take some trips out there.
Trust and believe. Okay, I feel like the first country I touch down on, I'm like, yep, this is it. This is it.
Yeah, for sure. I felt that way when I went to Tanzania. That was the first African country. I was just like, what the heck? Like, it's so beautiful. And then I went to Ghana. Be like, oh my God, home.
It just keeps getting better.
Right.
Like,
then with the Kenya, I was just like, I don't want to go home. I'm like, how do I just stay here? So,
oh my goodness.
yeah.
What
So
did you say? I think I probably would experience like travel depression. Like,
it's
wanna go
real.
back.
It's real. It's real, man. When you get the right vibes, the right food, the right air quality, the right people, it's just like, why even deal with that
Going
shit?
back then.
Yeah. So, yeah, the trips are coming for sure, man. God willing, we'll get to South Africa. We'll get to Zambia. I want to go to Ethiopia. I want to go to Rwanda. I've been to Ghana. I've been to Kenya already. But I might have to spin the block. I am going to spin the block. So,
I got
yeah.
to go to all of the above.
Facts.
All of the above.
Yeah. Another round of applause for Earn Your Leisure, Kelis, and Kenya, man. All right. All right, guys. Dr. Umar's going to have an East African tour? That's going to be fire. We do have to get up out of here, y'all. It's our time. What I do want to say real quick, though, is that my prayers are going out to Kenya. Kenya actually recently had a protest going on out there. It's honestly, bro, it's really, it saddens me. I'm not going to lie. But, I'm always going to ride with the people, and I'm not as educated on what's going on. Alvin, if you can maybe share in the chat or the comments, let us know a little bit what's going on. But this happened recently. I'm just going to play this video real quick before we head out. Let's see what's going on.
Actually happened. Yesterday, hundreds of thousands of people nationwide poured onto the streets of Kenya to protest against the Ruto government. But this was no normal protest. In preparation, police sealed off government buildings with barbed wire. They blocked off access roads to prevent them from being overrun. And the government ordered the ban of all television and radio stations from covering the demonstrations. They even reportedly started blocking apps like Telegram. Bro, my editor, who lives in Kenya, told me that he had to upload yesterday's video using his 4G because his Wi-Fi stopped working. And because this is a largely Gen Z-led movement, the things we saw yesterday were wild. One guy wrote a sign reading, "Dear Iran, just one missile in our state house, please." Another guy brought his dog so that he could protest too. They used slingshots, and there's even a picture going viral of a girl using a pole vault to go over the barbed wire. And what makes this protest so unique is that it was largely organized on social media using hashtags, and it had no backing amongst the main parties or trade unions. But here's the craziest part. The day before the protest, a coalition of foreign embassies issued a joint statement saying that they are concerned about the government's use of hired goons who are paid to infiltrate and disrupt peaceful protests so that the police have a justification to use force and shut things down. And yesterday, not only did the police use tear gas, water cannons, and batons, but also live ammunition. Amnesty Kenya reports that 16 people were killed, 400 injured, and 8 suffered gunshot wounds. Even CNN news reporters were on the scene wearing bulletproof vests and helmets, saying,
"That's why we wear this. We wear the flak jacket because we have seen Kenyan security forces shooting unarmed, peaceful protesters."
And the people part of this Gen Z-led movement are saying these aren't just protests, it's a revolution. The mother of all protests actually happened. Yesterday, hundreds of...
So guys, prayers for Kenya. This looks like it's taking place mostly in Nairobi, where people are trying to peacefully protest. They're not happy with the President Ruto's government, and so they're peacefully protesting. But it looks like the government might be hiring goons to justify using force to shut down these protests. And I think it's like a part of like Kenya is doing so well, so they don't want to have a negative stain on them, so they want to just like silently put this away. But at the same time,
that raises even more questions.
Exactly. So this is disturbing to see. I hate to see stuff like this, but to have people lose their lives for protesting is unacceptable. You know what I mean? That is absolutely unacceptable. So my prayers and heart goes out to all those Kenyan families, the people who've been injured and stuff like that. You guys be safe out there. Don't let them silence your voice. You know what I mean? What you guys are doing, like he said, it's not just a protest, it's a revolution. You know what I mean? I rock with y'all. I rock with the people. So, but yeah, prayers up for y'all. Yeah, man. Shout out to Job. He said the protest was an anniversary of the last 25th of June, the day before a hawker was shot by a police in the head, which made people more angry. Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that. It was all Kenyan cities, not just Nairobi. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. So they protested all across the country in different cities in Kenya. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, and then the fact that they shut down, I don't like this too, because when I was in Kenya, when I talked to somebody, they said that when the Queen came from England, something like that, they shut down their internet or something like that for a point in time. I said, if you come to America, we don't give a fuck who pulling up. We're not turning off our internet for this white lady that came over here and colonized our country. Like, fuck out of here. They were laughing at me. I was just like, why the fuck would they do that? I'll be pissed. Fuck her. Sorry. Lo siento.
Hey, my internet.
Right. You turn off my internet just because you want to come and shake our hand. Nah, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Anyway, all right. That's all of our time. Carmen, you got anything else for the people before we get up out of here?
No. Make your plan. Start saving.
Yeah.
Invest. And get out of here.
Yeah. Invest in the continent, man. All right, guys. We love you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next episode of Top Hill. See you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Hill, top, hill.